So this is for week 9, extra credit. So on this week, we went over the defense and interpretation of contracts, and we went straight into the statute of frauds. So certain agreements must be in either actual writing or evidenced by writing in order for it to be enforceable. Some examples of that kind of falls under the acronym MILEGS that we went under, which covers marriage, year, land, executor, and then goods of $500 or more. And then also there is duress, which is basically meaning like a gun to your head type of like situation where you're like basically forced to sign a contract. So like the person is trying to enforce the contract that is applied under like wrongful pressure, or they are trying to like avoid enforcement of like the contract without a reasonable alternative. So misrepresentation of facts also falls under this, as any misrepresentation of material fact, even like innocent to existing fact, can make like a contract voidable. So an example of this would be like if Mary was interested in buying a wooden building from Jack, but is concerned about like possible termite damage with the building, and then Jack assures Mary that the building is termite free because he doesn't know it has termites. And then there's also non-disclosure and concealment, where non-disclosure without concealment is irrelevant, even if someone knows that the other person like lacks knowledge of certain facts. So if Tom sells Jerry a boat without knowing there's a hole in it, with knowing that there was a hole in it, which brings us to non-disclosure with concealment, being like misrepresentation basically. So if Tom sells Jerry a boat knowing there's a hole in it, and he put a hole over the rug to kind of cover that up. So in existing fact, there are 2 types of mistakes. The first is a mutual mistake, like both parties agreeing that something being sold is damaged and selling it under value, and then like basically taking it to get the damages repaired and realizing that like it's even worse than you thought. Then the agreement can be rescinded. And then there is unilateral mistake, which can typically be like a clerical or like a mathematical error. So like if you get your bathroom remodeled and you get it quoted, but something like major is accidentally left out of the quote that like alters the price so much, but if it's caught before reliance, then the offer can be rescinded. Cases of illegality must also be considered, where both parties are culpable and the court will kind of leave it where it finds them. So there's also public policy, where there are non-competitive contracts, including the freedom of contract, restraint of trade, freedom to compete, and the right of an employee to earn a livelihood. So those all fall under like non-competitive contracts. And then I'll close out on unconscionability, where all of the courts like basically take out of the clauses that are unconscionable, and all of the disputes will basically like be resolved by an international arbitration forum. So that was it for week 9 on defense and interpretation of contracts and everything that kind of falls under that.